Welcome aboard the Riviera 6000 Sport Yacht. Now, this is a really important boat in the Riviera range, the second biggest in its Sport Yacht range. These are coupe cruisers designed to be owner-run, manageable, very competent at sea, fast cruising with a really decent fast cruising range. This is a 360 video, so you, the viewer, can choose what you look at. I'm going to guide you through, but you can grab the screen with your finger on a tablet or the mouse on a computer, and you can look wherever you want around the boat as I walk you through. And we're starting up here at the bow, which is quite bright, quite white. There's no teacup here. It's all fiberglass decking, but you have got a nice amount of living space. Got this lovely big sunpad. You can pop at the backrest as well to make those a little bit more comfortable. It's a very practical machine. We're going to see that as we go throughout the tour. Right forward, of course, you have an anchor locker, but it's a triple anchor locker here. So very practical, space in there for fenders, good access to the anchor chain, and they do want to make it as easy as possible for owners, because it's unlikely this will be crewed, owners to run these boats themselves. And on that note, moving around is really quite easy. Nice wide side decks, good tow rails, tall guardrails as well, so you can grab those comfortably as you move around the boat. It's obviously a single level out here. There is no flybridge. You might think of Riviera as having those enclosed flybridge designs. Well, this is their sports cruiser design. As we head here into the cockpit, I've just passed a boarding gate. So you have boarding gates on both sides. So if you are moored side to, it's much easier to get off at a higher quayside than if you're having to get off the bathing platform, which is obviously set quite low. We'll head down there in a second. The cockpit is really nice and sheltered, whether it's the shade that you get overhead or the fact that you've got these nice wings down either side, so you really don't feel the breeze down here. In this berth, the breeze is funneling over the bow and it's really, really well protected. You've got the table obviously, so you can dine out here, and then seating opposite. Nice place to relax. You know, the Australians, this was an Australian boat. Australians are very cautious about the sun, so you won't find loads of areas where you can sit in the direct sunlight. It's more about being comfortable, shaded and cool when you're outside. You see we have this top hinge window. The effect of that is most impressive from inside. We're going to head into the interior in a moment. But you also have a sunroof here, so you can peel back this section above me and you can get some sunlight down onto this area. If it's a bit cooler and you need the sun to help warm you up, then you can do that in this area. You'll see some of the nice functionality. It's a really well thought out boat. Things like having these pop-up wing stations, these are lovely. So you've got a little gas ram. It's an IPS boat, so those pop up, and you have them on both sides. So if you are mooring stern to, you've got a great view aft. You can see the bathing platform. You can also see forward, and the fact that you've got them on both sides is just something that you really don't see very often. And I think this arrangement works really well, having the wet bar across the transom. Yes, you're losing a bit of seating. You know, ordinarily you'd have some seats there and you'd probably have a smaller wet bar elsewhere. But I think that just works very, very well. It's a clever use of space, and it's a good sized grill as well. You've got two grills, cooling space underneath, an ice maker, a prep station on one side. You've also got a sink here, so you can clean up back here if you need to, cup holders as well. And importantly, this is overlooking the bathing platform. As you can see, the tender garage lid is up at the moment, but if that's down, you've got the hydraulic bathing platform down as well, then the person cooking has a great view out over the water rather than turning into the boat, which is so often the way with the wet bars. Very good bit of design. Let's head down here actually. So this is hydraulic, this platform. This drops down into the water, and then as part of that you can see you've got the tender garage and the mechanism with a winch that pulls the tender up into this garage, and then you close the lid and it's all really nicely tidied away. If you think that you're going to be covering ground fast through big conditions, it's nice to have the tender away and not potentially slightly vulnerable on the back of the boat. You can see the controls there as well to get the tender in and out of this area. Very slick. Let's head back into the cockpit. And we'll go into the saloon. It's a galley aft arrangement, and again it's all about that connection with the outside. The wet bar outside faces the water, and so does the galley, so you can flip that window up and you can be in contact with the people who are sitting down in that cockpit. The flow of this, the way that you can see out and you can easily get down to the bathing platform from up here, is brilliant. And we've got this high gloss wood that Riviera is so good at, and they've sort of split the galley across both sides to give you as much counter space as possible. So this is the bulk of it on the port side. Here you can see you've got lots of storage, also cooling space, So they've gone for drawers here, but you have them on both sides. You might think, oh, well, what I want is a fridge like I've got in my house. Well, actually these drawers can be tuned as either fridge or freezer, so they make it very flexible and actually have quite a lot of space in them. Cooking over on this side, the sink faces aft. Again, so when you're washing up, at least you've got a nice view. I'm getting blasted by really effective air conditioning. You can see the grates over on this side. Some storage for plates and things over the top here. And this is really nice to have two sunroofs inside. If you look above now, remember you are in control of the screen, so you can look up and see above. But you have a sunroof here and you have a sunroof forward, so there's loads of natural light coming into this area. It is really lovely and bright in here. It doesn't feel like it's particularly enclosed. Even more storage over on this side for cold drinks and food. So yeah, you really aren't doing too badly for cold storage on board this boat, despite not having, you know, an upright fridge freezer. Now it uses the C-Zone system. So this is all of the boat's controls, their systems. It's all digitally integrated, so you can control it from these various screens. You've got these in a couple of places on the boat. So really easy to see everything's okay, change things, and very handy that it's just inside the cockpit door here. Obviously you have your television on the starboard side there as well. This is a nice little space. So you've got your main dinette on the port side. That's got an adjustable table, so that drops down to become a day bed. But here, this is just a little drinks table. And you have a movable footstool as well, so you can move that around, use it as a chaise longue, or you could put it opposite the dinette and use that as somewhere else for somebody to sit if you're dining inside. They really do think of making everything as usable as it possibly can be. It's really brilliant practical design. Moving forward, we see the other sunroof. There are blinds for these, of course, so if it's really beating down, you can get some protection. But that's lovely. Yes, it's not a flybridge, but the benefit is you can pull that roof back. You've always got natural light in here. When you're moving along, you can get the roof back, open the windows either side, and be a bit more in touch with the elements. Just manual windows on either side, no side doors, which is a little bit of a shame. But you have got those wing stations, so manoeuvring from outside is pretty easy. I'll just drop back so you can have a nice view of the helm. Riviera do a good helm station. I love the shape of it. It's all dark material, so there's no glare. Two big Garmin screens which are going to have the bulk of your information. That lovely dished Riviera steering wheel and fully adjustable, almost car-like seats. Those look really comfortable for covering long journeys, which is exactly what this thing is designed to do. IPS powered, and it will do around 28-30 knots. But the crucial thing is at 23 knots, it will cruise for probably 400, maybe 500 nautical miles. So you do get really good fast cruising range. You've got your joystick down there. So of course, you've got joystick control from inside the boat as well as the wing stations, and then a pair of throttles for when you're on the move. And I like that down here on the right by the helm seat, you've got a separate control for the Garmin screens, because they are quite a long way away from the seats. But using that control, you can control them remotely without having to lean forward. You'll probably have spotted the Seakeeper screen on the dash as well. So this has got a gyroscopic stabilizer. We'll talk a bit more about that in the engine room, but essentially that is designed to stop the boat rolling when it's at rest. They're expensive, but they're very, very good bits of kit. Let's head downstairs to the lower deck where we find the guest cabins. This is a nice area. Open to the windscreen, so it's like a big bright atrium, loads of glass, natural light again flooding down into this space. This is a lower dinette in this guise, but I suspect you could have this as another bunk cabin if you wanted to have 4 cabins on board. Personally, I think this works really nicely, gives you somewhere private to come and sit. You can still lounge down here, you could even sleep here if you wanted, but probably just adds a bit more flexibility over the bunk cabins if you're not going to have 8 people sleeping on board regularly. We'll carry on forward first though, and we'll start with the VIP. So this is right forward. I'll just put the camera in the middle. Remember, you can look around. I'll just keep it still. But yeah, a little bit pinched at the end of the bed. Really good storage though. 2 big hanging lockers, one on either side. The hull windows are a little bit small, but you have got a nice big hatch above. So there's plenty of natural light coming down in here and some nice detail. I like the way they've got the angled woodwork. It's not grain matched, but you have got the angled woodwork on the bed head. That's a really nice effect with the uplighting as well. There's a TV mounted up on the bulkhead, so you can watch a film in here. And it has a private bathroom, and a good sized one at that, with a separate shower cubicle, electric toilet, everything you'd expect really. Moving amidships, we come to what is the day head, but that's also shared with the twin cabin. So this is the bathroom that guests can use during the day. But that said, they've all got their own bathrooms, so you don't necessarily have to use the day head, but that's a good size, isn't it? Another big separate shower cubicle, domestic toilet there, sink and some storage. And then connected to that is the twin. So the steps drop down a little bit here to allow for you to get into bed more comfortably. But yeah, nice cabin. Berths are a little bit narrow, but it does leave you a good amount of space between the berths to move down into them. You can really see how nice the woodwork here as well. Look at these lovely curves they've got. It's beautifully done. And that door in front of me now is the one through to the bathroom. So every cabin has got access to a private bathroom. Storage is very good as well. Let's carry on. Heading amidships, we have this area opposite the sofa. You have laundry facilities down here. Another wine fridge, so yet more cooling space. And then you have a washer dryer as well. So your washer and dryer down here, which is useful. Right, let's get amidships because this is where you find the owner's cabin. And this is a lovely piece of design. So the bathroom is open sort of to the cabin, but obviously you have this glass that goes opaque, so you have some privacy. But that just means that the bathroom can run along this port side, giving you a bit more space than if it was squeezed behind the bed. There's something else behind the bed, a bit of a secret that I'll show you in a minute. But again, separate shower cubicle. Very nicely fitted out. Bigger TV in this cabin, of course, and it's full beam, so it does feel spacious, and this is very bright. You have got the big hull windows, 2 chunky opening ports, so natural light is not an issue here at all. The bed is set quite high, as are the bedside tables. And you have a nice storage unit underneath the TV as well. Storage is not an issue in any way, pretty much everywhere on board this boat. Then heading even further back behind the bed, where you have a walk-in wardrobe, we come to the secret cabin. Well, it can be a cabin if you are going to carry crew. Some people may want to. I said it's owner run, but there will be people who want crew. Or you can have this as a workspace, a utility area, workshop, whatever you want to call it. It's really quite flexible. But directly behind the owner's cabin also connects directly to the engine room, and there's a deck hatch as well, so you can get up into the cockpit from this area. But yeah, really nice just to have this flexible space. I keep talking about living on board. Having spaces like this is such a virtue for liveaboard cruising. You've got access to all the C-zone systems here. Everything is really neat and tidy, and we're going to see even more of that inside the engine room. Riviera do absolutely fantastic engine rooms. Through a watertight door. And of course there is a bit of an intrusion here because we have the tender garage. So the insulation is very good, but I'm having to crouch down here to get close to the engines. Headroom's not too bad when you first come in, but if you want a tender garage, it's got to go somewhere, and this is where. So the 2 IPS 950s, they're pretty easy to get to. A bit more tricky to get to the pods because they're right under the tender garage, but you have got the Seakeeper in the middle there. Not sure how easy that would be to get out if you needed to. There's probably a false floor inside the tender garage so you can get to the pods and the Seakeeper more easily. But it's things like having all the plumbing so beautifully aligned. It's all labelled as well, so you know where everything is going. You've got your Glendinning reels for the shore power on both sides, so no matter which side you're moored, you've got easy access to shore power. Domestic air conditioning in the corner. Yes, there's a lot in here. You know, it's 60-65 feet, this boat, and it's got a lot of equipment on it, including things like the gyro, so it's a little bit cramped, but there is absolutely no complaining about the engineering. Riviera are absolutely at the top of their game when it comes to that type of thing, and despite being a little bit cramped, it's a pretty easy boat, certainly to do the day-to-day stuff on that you'll be doing as an owner. Right, there you have it. That is the Riviera 6000 Sport Yacht. A really great package. You can see why these are so popular. Capable, spacious, a good size, but also really pretty manageable if you do want to run it on your own. Let me know what you think about the boat in the comments below, and remember, if you want to compare it to its rivals, you can do that on yachtbuyer.com. Head over to the website, you can compare it side by side and read our in-depth written review as well. Thanks again for watching. I'm Jack Haines. I'll see you on the next one.